I'm about to ruin your day, but somebody needs to say this out loud. A woman posted TikToks joking about her deadbeat baby daddy. 12 hours after her last video, she had 12 bullets in her body. And before you start typing, why would she provoke him? Hold up. I got a better question. Why was he free to be provoked?
Some women, me, I'm putting myself in that category, make it okay for niggas not to be
That's her. Making comedy content about the man who would murder her. She called the series All Deadbeat Daddy, starring her ex, Little Mac Williams. Yeah, that's his real government name. Little Mac. Like the Nintendo character, except instead of winning championship belts, this man collected restraining orders like Pokemon cards. Got to violate them all, apparently. Now, Shantae Letitia Butts wasn't just another statistic waiting to happen. This woman was a force.
So I'm 30, finna be 31, and I was adopted as a child. In between adopted and foster, I don't think people know this, is when you adopted, you belong in that family. So therefore, the state can't come and take you out of that household. Now, if you fostered, you could just get taken at any moment whenever the person chooses to get a child. Like if they want a child and they want you, they could just take
You hear that? That's someone who understood abandonment from day one. But instead of letting it break her, she built an empire on that broken foundation. 3 businesses. Count them. 3. Home health aid by day. And if you've never done that job, let me educate you real quick. You're literally wiping butts, lifting grown adults, getting cussed out by people's grandparents, all for what? $15 an hour if you're lucky. But Shantae, she'd clock out from that and run her cleaning business, Polish by Shay. Then she'd go home and make these bougie floral arrangements with liquor bottles, Crown Royal roses, Hennessy bouquets, turning addiction aesthetics into profit. That's not just hustle, that's alchemy. And then, because apparently sleep is for people without 6 kids to feed, she was building her social media presence.
So I honestly feel like I don't get paid enough to babysit. I don't give a if there is my own kids. Pay me. I gotta miss work to take care of the kids. Pay me. I gotta miss an event to be with my kids. Pay me. Period.
See what she did there? She took the exhaustion every parent feels but won't admit and turned it into content. She wasn't just a mum, she was monetizing motherhood. But here's where things get messy. The star of her comedy show, Little Mac Williams, father of her youngest children, a man with a rap sheet longer than a CVS receipt. And she was putting all his business out there. Now, I'm gonna say something that might make you uncomfortable. Ready? She was playing with fire while covered in gasoline. Does that mean she deserved what happened? Hell no. But when you're dealing with a man who has proven, repeatedly, that he solves problems with his hands, maybe TikTok isn't the best venue for your therapy. Actually, scratch that. You know what? She had every right to talk her truth. The real question is why he had the right to be walking around free. Let me paint you a picture of Palm Beach County's justice system. Actually, no. Calling it a justice system is like calling a broken condom birth control. It might look like it works, but when it matters most, look at this face. Look at it. This is the face of a man who discovered that in Florida, beating women comes with a frequent flyer discount. 2014, he meets his first documented victim. And when I say meets, I mean he chokes her until she has a lump the size of a golf ball on her forehead. The medical report described it as a 5-centimeter hematoma. For those of you who failed anatomy, that means he literally rearranged her skull geography. The punishment? 36 days in jail. That's 5 weeks. You know what else takes 5 weeks? Waiting for your tax refund. Getting a passport renewed. This man nearly killed a woman and got less time than a Netflix free trial. 2018. New woman, same little Mac. This time he's graduated to stalking, showing up at her house uninvited, tampering with security cameras like he's auditioning for a Lifetime movie villain. The sentence? 59 days. You'll notice how the violence is escalating, but the punishment isn't. It's like the judges were playing limbo. How low can you go? 2023. And this is my personal favorite because it shows you how bold this man had become. He hits a woman in the head with an object during an argument. Just crack. Like she's a piñata and he's trying to win prizes. The sentence? 2 days. 2! I've had hangovers that lasted longer than his jail sentence. Amazon Prime takes longer to deliver packages. This man committed assault with a weapon and got less time than a weekend. You'll see the pattern. The judges were basically running a loyalty program. Beat 3 women, get a volume discount on your sentence. Every time he hurt someone, the punishment got lighter. It's like they were training him. Good job, little Mac. Next time you might even get time served. And here's what nobody wants to say. If this man was black? Actually, wait, let me check. Oh, he is black. Well, damn, there goes that theory. Turns out the system just doesn't give a shit about protecting women, period. But wait, it gets worse. Because now, we get to Shantaes, July 2024. He forces his way into her home, puts her in a chokehold, kicks her multiple times. She almost loses consciousness. When she tries to call 911, he steals her phone and runs.
Please leave. I am not okay with this. Please leave my job. I have to go.
That's her at work, begging him to leave. This is after the choking incident. The man is literally hunting her at her job, and you know what the system gave her? A piece of paper, a restraining order. You know what stops bullets better than restraining orders? Everything. A piece of cardboard, a strong breeze, thoughts and prayers. All more effective than that paper she got. He was arrested for the July assault, charged with domestic battery by strangulation, witness tampering, multiple felonies. And after all of that, after his entire history, you know what he got? 157 days. That's barely 5 months for attempted murder. And yes, I said attempted murder because when you choke someone until they almost lose consciousness, what exactly do you think the end goal is? A firm handshake? Now here's where the story takes a turn that nobody wants to talk about.
Some women, me, I'm putting myself in that category, make it okay for niggas not to be just being in our relationship because we so happy that somebody love us. But we can just love ourselves if that makes sense. Take care of the household, do what we gotta do, because in reality, we just not feeling like we housing a nigga. But in reality, we housing a nigga. And from the outside looking in, it looked like he's helping or contributing because your life is still going on the same way.
She wasn't just venting. She was building a brand off this dysfunction. All deadbeat daddy was getting views, getting shares, getting her paid. And every episode was basically a documentary of little Mac's failures as a father and a human being. Was it therapeutic? Absolutely. Was it empowering? For her and other women going through the same thing? Definitely. Was it smart? Look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It wasn't smart. It was like poking a bear with a stick while covered in honey. But you know what else wasn't smart? The system letting that bear roam free in the first place. And this is where I need y'all to really listen. Because what I'm about to say is gonna sound like victim blaming, but it's not. It's system blaming. Shantae did what we tell victims to do. In 2025, document everything, speak your truth, build your support network, use your platform, break the silence. We literally encourage women to do exactly what she did. But we do all that while knowing the system won't protect them when the abuser reacts. It's like teaching someone to swim and then throwing them in shark-infested waters. You got this, girl. Just keep kicking. October 2024, Little Mac violates the restraining order. He's calling non-stop, banging on her door, full stalker mode activated. Arrested again, released again. November 2024. He breaks into her house, assaults her, steals her phone. And here's the kicker. Prosecutors reduced the charges from felony to misdemeanor. Reduced the charges. This man is escalating faster than gas prices. And they're reducing charges? Make it make sense. He pleaded guilty. Because of course he did. They caught him red-handed and got 66 days. 2 months for breaking and entering, assault and theft. I've seen people get more time for stealing a Snickers bar from Walmart. July 5th, 2025, 6 days before her murder. Shantae is at the police station. Again, she's crying. Not those pretty TV tears, but the ugly cry that comes from knowing what's about to happen. She tells deputies that Little Mac showed up at her house 20 times in one night. 20. Her doorbell camera caught all of it. Him pacing, tampering with the camera, looking in windows, basically auditioning for the role of man about to commit murder. She tells the deputies, and I need you to hear this part clearly. She tells them, tears running down her face. He's going to kill me. Not I'm scared. Not I think he might hurt me. She said, he's going to kill me. You know what they did? Issued another warrant for aggravated stalking. Like this man gives a damn about warrants. He collects them like baseball cards. That night, that same night, Shantae doesn't go home. She flees to a hotel in Clewiston. Let that marinate for a second. This woman is paying for a hotel room she can't afford because her own home isn't safe, while the man making it unsafe is just out there, free. Probably sleeping in his own bed. July 11th, 2025, 11:47 p.m. 6 days after she predicted her own murder, Little Mac Williams makes her a prophet. Her oldest son is playing video games when he hears it. Breaking glass. Or maybe it was the door. Reports vary. Trauma has a way of scrambling details. But what he hears next is crystal clear. Where's your mama? That's Little Mac's voice. In their house. Where those babies live. The boy calls 911. And while he's on the phone with dispatch, while he's trying to explain that his mother's ex-boyfriend just broke in, the dispatcher hears something that no amount of training prepares you for. A man's voice. Screams. Then pop. Pop. Not one shot. Not 2. 12. You don't shoot someone 12 times by accident. That's not self-defense. That's not heat of the moment. 12 shots is a message. 12 shots is making sure. 12 shots is hatred with a trigger. Her current boyfriend, who was in the bed with her, takes 1 bullet to the chest. 1. He survives. But Shantae? Those other 11 were for her. And those babies, his babies, they heard every single shot. They heard their mother's last breath. They're gonna hear those shots for the rest of their lives. Deputies find Shantae on her bed. The same bed where she probably tucked those kids in. The same bed where she probably collapsed after working 3 jobs. 12 gunshot wounds. She's declared dead at 11:58 p.m. Didn't even make it to midnight. Didn't even make it to another day. You want to know the most pathetic part of this whole thing? After executing the mother of his children, little Mac Williams walked outside and laid down in the street, hands behind his back, waiting for the cops like he just finished a shift at work. No chase, no standoff, no suicide by cop attempt, just surrendered. This man had enough rage to pump 12 bullets into a woman, but not enough spine to face the consequences, like the tough guy he pretended to be. Even in murder, he was small. Little Mac, indeed. When they questioned him, you know what this genius said? He didn't know who the other man in the house was. The man in bed with his ex. In her bedroom. At midnight. Yeah, real mystery there, Sherlock. Then, and this is where it gets insulting, he claims he didn't shoot anyone. The gun just went off during a struggle. 12 times in the same direction. Into the same person. Now, here's where I need everybody in the comments to pay attention. Because what I'm about to tell you should be illegal. Remember all those arrests I mentioned? Every single judge who gave him those baby sentences has names. Public record. Judge Gregory Kaiser was the latest one. These aren't anonymous figures. These are real people with real power who made real decisions that led to real death. And before you say they were just following the law, no. Judges have discretion. Prosecutors have discretion. They chose lenience. They chose to reduce charges. They chose to believe that this time would be different. You know what the state attorney's office said after Shantaes died? They're focused on violent offenders and habitual offenders.
The focus of the state attorney's office is to go after violent offenders and habitual offenders. And in domestic violence, that's no different.
After. She's already dead. And now they care about violent offenders. That's like putting on a seatbelt after the car crash. Thanks for nothing. Here's the deep question nobody wants to answer. How many women have to die before a judge loses their job? Because if I mess up a TikTok video, you'll roast me in the comments. These judges mess up and women get buried, but they still got their pension. 6 kids. Let me say that again for those in the back. 6 kids watched their mother die. The oldest, the one who called 911. He's gonna spend the rest of his life wondering if he could have done something different. If he'd been faster, stronger, louder. He's gonna replay those 12 shots every time he closes his eyes. The younger ones were found huddled together in the living room. Huddled. Like baby birds in a storm. They're gonna grow up knowing their father killed their mother while they were in the next room. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Some of these kids are his. Little Mac's own babies. He made his own children orphans because his ego couldn't handle a TikTok series.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
That's their mom, at school events, being present. And now, foster care, relatives, maybe split up, their whole world destroyed, because nobody stopped a man who everybody knew needed stopping. Belglade held a memorial. People who never met Shantaes showed up. You know why? Because every woman there saw themselves in her story. Every single one had either been Shantaes or knew a Shantaes. The local activists started organizing, demanding stronger enforcement, harsher sentences. But here's the truth bomb. Vigils don't change laws. Hashtags don't stop bullets. And all the thoughts and prayers in the world won't bring back a mother of 6. You know what changes things. Y'all in the comments getting loud about this. Share this story. Make noise. Because somewhere right now, another woman is filing her 3rd restraining order against a man with a history, and the system is about to fail her too. Little Mac Williams is facing 1st-degree murder charges. Life without parole. Maybe even the death penalty. Now they want to throw the book at him. Now that there's a body, now that there are orphans, now that it's too late. The prosecutors are acting tough, talking about maximum penalties and justice for Shantaes. But where was that energy when he was only almost killing women? It's like they're trying to get extra credit for finally doing their job. Look, we got him. Yeah, congratulations. You caught a killer after he killed. Real detective work there. I'm gonna leave you with something that's gonna sit heavy. Shantaes Butts did everything right according to the victim's handbook. She documented. She reported. She got restraining orders. She fled. She spoke up. She built support systems. She worked multiple jobs to be independent. She even made content to warn other women. And she's still dead. So, maybe, and follow me here, maybe the problem isn't what victims do or don't do. Maybe the problem is that we keep releasing violent men with slaps on the wrist and surprise Pikachu faces when they escalate to murder. Here's my challenge to everyone watching. If this made you mad, stay mad. Subscribe if you want to keep hearing these stories that mainstream media sanitizes. Drop a comment with your thoughts, especially if you disagree with me. Share this. Because the only way stories like Shantaes get heard is if you make sure they're heard. The algorithm won't push my content, but you can. Because the only thing worse than this story is the silence that lets it happen again. And to every woman watching who sees herself in Shantaes, your TikToks aren't the problem. Your jokes aren't the problem. Your truth isn't the problem. The system that values your abuser's freedom over your life? That's the problem. Rest in power, Shantaes Butts. You deserve better than the justice system gave you. Your kids deserve better. Hell, even little Mac deserved better. Maybe if they'd actually punished him the first time, he wouldn't be facing life now. But hey, at least the judges got to go home to their families, right?